know down in the comments section, who is the key to the Raiders defense this upcoming season? We're expecting big things from Anotnio Pierce, Patrick Graham, this Raiders defense. I want to know, who do you think is the key to unlock the ultimate potential, which is the number one defense in the NFL? Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz, your host of the Raiders Report. Today's show is presented by Panda Supps. If anybody out there wants to try the protein that I use, go to chatsports.com/mystack, which you can get for 35% off. It's a stack that I have put together, my summer shred pack of all the workout supplements that I use from Panda Supps. I use it. Go try it out. I think you're really going to enjoy it. So coming up here today, Raiders cornerback coach Ricky Manning revealed who he thought the Raiders' key to this defense was. I'm going to break down why I agree and disagree with this take. I'm also going to just give you some honorable mentions for other key players on this Raiders defense. So the fact that Nate Hobbs got mentioned, one, I'm not really surprised that Manning, the Raiders cornerback coach, new cornerback coach, ended up bringing Hobbs, because I know that Hobbs and Jack Jones are the top two corners, right? So Hobbs, even though he plays inside, is the corner that if you were to ask, I think most Raider fans out there, who's the best corner on our team, I'm going to say Nate Hobbs over Jack Jones, though Jones probably had a better season last year. But here's what Manning had to say on Hobbs. Nate is the key that unlocks our defense. That nickel spot is very special. That star spot is very special. Being able to play inside and outside is a unique characteristic to have. That's what Nate Hobbs is. That's what the star position has become. He's the key to unlock our defense. He's great at it. He can continue to ascend, and with his growth, our defense grows. Our defense grows, and it allows Patrick Graham, our coordinator, to call certain things because he can trust that Nate can get it done and get it communicated to everybody, and we can work well together. So one of the interesting positions that I've talked about in years past that I think the Raiders, Patrick Graham in particular, have been trying to look for is, you remember some like those old Giants defenses? The name I'm going to throw out is Jabril Peppers. And Jabril Peppers was a player that the Giants tried to use in a lot of these different areas up close near the line of scrimmage, drop him back at safety. They used him as this like stars type of player. For Nate Hobbs, he's such a good athlete that the Raiders believe that he can play safety. They believe he can play in the slot. They believe he can play corner. And it's somebody that when you look at all the versatility that this young man has, I can understand why they say he's the key. Because, again, the Raiders want versatility. The Raiders want somebody that can really confuse the opposing team. And that's what Nate Hobbs does. So coming up here, I'm going to tell you why I agree with Hobbs being the key for the Raiders defense. I'm going to just break it all down of how it makes sense for Ricky Manning, and then I'm also going to tell you some of the other honorable mentions that I have. If you want to help the Raiders Report grow, we are a family after all. There's ways to do it, free ways to do it. You can click the like button. Every time you click like on this show, just know that Chugs and I see it. We appreciate it. You can share this video, whether that's on Facebook, Twitter. You can text people the video. That helps us out a lot. Subscribe, turn on those noties, and every time we ask you to comment, it does help us out quite a bit. I do want to give a shout out to some of our new subscribers here on the channel. Not Giovanni, Jason, Social Raider, and then Derek. Really, really appreciate the fact that you guys took time out of your day to help us try to take down the 49ers in this June sub battle. I want to do a better job of giving new shout-outs to the new subscribers because, yeah, we definitely act kind of fratty at times, but this is a family that I want more people to feel really a part of. So here we go. Why Hobbs could be the key to this Raiders defense. Versatility in Patrick Graham's defense is very, very important. We use the versatility word all the time, and I think when you look at this Raiders' current defense, right, you know that they're going to dominate up front. When they're going to be able to get after with just four, that also then allows the Raiders to be able to use Hobbs where maybe you line them up out at the slot. Maybe you line them up as an outside corner. And when you look at the Raiders, they have so many of these players that rely on versatility. And Isaiah Palomeo is going to be an interesting player this upcoming season. I think Divine Diablo can be an interesting player. Tre'von Moehrig, Marcus Epps, moving them all over the football field creates more confusion. And it sounds like the Raiders want to start that chaos in the middle with a guy like Nate Hobbs. Let's go to the next reason why he could be the key to defense. The lack of cornerback depth. The Raiders have two players right now that I think that 90% of the nation has confidence in Hobbs and Jack Jones. Outside of that, A lot of question marks. And because there's question marks around Ja'Cory Bennett, because there's question marks around Brandon Facyson, the rookies, the Camryon Richardson, MJ Devonshire, it just makes us rely on the players that we believe in, Hobbs and Jones. And for the Raiders to take that step, you need Hobbs to play the way that he did as a rookie. You need Hobbs to play the way he did at last season. Hobbs is definitely a big-time key to this defense because he's one of the players that we can rely on at cornerback. The next reason here is it's a contract year in the third year with Patrick Graham. I anticipate that this year is the best year that Nate Hobbs has ever had. He's going into a contract year. We see guys show up in the best shape of their life, more motivated to get that big-time payday. Also, that third year with Patrick Graham. Hobbs was bad in his first year with PG. It was a lot. He was trying to learn a lot of different things. Definitely took a step back, which the PFF numbers absolutely show that. Then you look at what he did last season. And last season, I just think he simplified it down a little bit, understood his assignment, and was able to just go out there and build upon his success. Like, I know Nate Hobbs is a very special player, and he can do a lot of different things for you, but realistically, what do I look for in a corner? I look at how they stop the run and how they cover. I'm not really going to worry about how he can get after the quarterback. In 2021, where he played predominantly in the slot in Gus Bradley's defense, he gave up 92.1 quarterback rating against him. Though his completion percentage was high, he was giving up just little dink and dunk type of throws. In 2022, he got ripped apart. He really struggled. Last season, did get better and better, though there were games where he shined, there were games that he needed to get better. And because of this defensive line, because of his third year with PG, because he's just entering another year in the NFL, he's about to have the best year of his freaking NFL career, and I can't wait. If you agree with that statement, Nate Hobbs is going to have the best year of his NFL career, I want you to click that like button right now because I do think that he's going to have the best year of his career. I have such high expectations for this Raiders defense, and if the key is for Nate Hobbs to achieve at a high level, he's just going to open up a lot of other things for a lot of other Raiders players, man. The key to making sure that you guys have a healthy summer, I'm going to say it's Panda Subs. I think anytime for me, I get into like these binges where I eat really unhealthy, and then there's other times where I'm like, I just need something that gets me to start just being healthier. Anytime I go out and I buy a little bit of protein, I buy some BCAAs, I buy things that help curb my hunger. That really helps me get into the best shape possible. And if you eat a lot of sweets like we do, I'm not saying, apple pie and cheddar cheese, but I have had some apple pie and cheddar cheese over the past 24, 48 hours, and I don't like how my body feels after it. Though when I have Panda Subs, I can go in there, have a great workout. Their protein also helps me sustain hunger for a long time. That way I'm not looking for sweets at 9, 10 o'clock at night. The fat burners I love, the BCAAs after a clutch workout is important. And then just because of how hot it is, again, it's like 100 degrees here in Dallas. If you feel dehydrated, you take a scoop of that BCAAs and it really helps out your body. When I take a trip to Vegas in the September, October, and I know we're going to be on a little bit of a bender weekend, heck, Friday happy hour, the first thing I do when I get home, take a scoop of the BCAAs, really helps my body stay hydrated to avoid the nasty hangover. So shout out to Panda Subs for sponsoring the Raiders Report. Their links are going to be available to you all down in the comments and in the description. If you support Raider Nation, support Panda Subs. It is owned and operated by somebody who is a diehard Raider fan. Let's go to the next reason here why I think Hobbs could be the key to this defense. He's humble, and he's got that Raider mentality. And we need more and more young players that have that Maxx Crosby mentality where you're going to be the first guy there, last guy to leave. And the fact that he's also humble on top of that, it's exactly what I'm looking for in a leader. Hobbs this offseason said there are a lot of difference makers on this team, but if I play at a high level, and this is what people tell me, if I play at a high level, people tend to follow. I tend to ignite the defense, and it's not me saying that. I try to come out there and do the best I can every day for the team. So other people telling me that, I just take that personal. I feel like we've got a whole bunch of me's on this defense. I'm just trying to do my part. On the field, I feel like I'm pretty good, but I want to take that next step into elite. Being able to know when a quarterback is trying to manipulate me, knowing exactly where I am on the field, really being a step ahead. All the great defensive players, they're always like, how did he know that? How did he know the ball was going there? I've always been a competitor. I've always been a person that wanted to be better. I feel like I was never satisfied with playing good or being good. I could be better. hearing Nate Hobbs say all those things, it does. It gives you that little bit of a tingle that you're hoping that he can take that next step, because when you watch him play, you can see that he is just freakishly athletic. Like, he is. He is athletically gifted. And I used to bring this up a lot last season with Tre'von Moehrig, because even Moehrig said it. He was able to go out there, react, turn off his brain. For the Raiders, you saw Hobbs think so much in PG's first year. Hobbs is learning the defense better and better. The more Hobbs can just go out there and react and not worry about his assignments just because he knows it like the back of his hand, I'm telling you right now, Hobbs is going to shock a lot of people this season. The final reason here of why Hobbs could be the key to this defense is I can make the argument if he gets hurt, big time panic mode, right? Because Hobbs he's really good on the field. But if there is one knock on him that I think we can, sit here and be real about, it's his inability to stay healthy. And for the key to the defense, if you lose that key, it's really hard to unlock it, right? He's missed 10 games the last 2 seasons, and he started in only 22 games. Now, he's played in a lot, I shouldn't say a lot more. He's played in more games, but because of some of these injury concerns, he hasn't been on the field. If the Raiders want to be that number one defense, you need Nate Hobbs to play all 17 games. Like, you need the best version, a healthy version of Hobbs, because as soon as you lose one of your star-studded players, and if you lose Hobbs and all you have left is Jack Jones, Ja'Cory Bennett, Brandon Facyson, your cornerback room goes to being one of the worst cornerback rooms in the league. So Hobbs really needs to stay healthy. Before we get into some more of my honorable mentions here of who I think could be some keys to defense, I do want y'all to just friendly reminder, we're going to be live on Thursday, June 27th for a Week 11 Madden Sim up against the Miami Dolphins. And our Madden season continuously is running quick, and it's going to be over before we even know it. So if you want to tune in to all of our live Madden streams here on the Raiders Report, take a screenshot, put this in your Google Calendar, and make sure you're tuning in and partying with us here on the show. So other keys to the Raiders defense, and I have them ranked here. I have Hobbs as the 4th most important key to our defense. It's an unpopular pick, or it's maybe too popular of a pick. It's chalky. Maxx Crosby is the key to this Raiders defense. Like, if Maxx gets injured, I don't know. I am going to lose a lot of hope in this defense, because Maxx is that engine. The way Maxx goes is the way that this defense is going to go. Then next up is going to be Christian Wilkins. I think the other key to this defense, if you told me, Mitch, the Raiders finished the year with the best defense in the NFL, I know Maxx is going to bring it every week. I know Christian Wilkins is going to be a dominant player. I know when healthy, Nate Hobbs can be great. Robert Spillane is the green dot. That's kind of your quarterback on the defense. That's why he makes the pick. But realistically, if Tyree takes that step and he can get around 8, 9, 10 sacks, hell, you might even make an argument that Tyree Wilson is the key to making this defense truly, truly a legendary defense. Now, I know that this show might have been a little bit different from what I've done in the past. Shout out to Ricky Manning. I think he's a hell of a coach, and I'm not sitting up here disagreeing and saying that Nate Hobbs isn't a key. I do think Nate Hobbs is one of the biggest keys to this defense. I'm simply just saying Tyree Wilson, Christian Wilkins, and Maxx Crosby are a little bit more important, and that's also because I subscribe to the idea if you're winning in the trenches and you're winning with your defensive line bringing 4, you're going to have a lot of success in the National Football League.